The stories presented on this channel reflect personal testimonies shared directly by individuals who have experienced them. They express their encounters and beliefs as they understand them. We urge viewers to receive these stories with compassion and discernment. Always seek guidance in the Holy Bible and the teachings of Jesus Christ and His apostles. If you're moved by stories of truth, courage, and transformation, consider subscribing to support this ministry and help spread the gospel in a world desperate for light.
A life defined by faith and obedience. Amira was born in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, into a household steeped in devotion to Islam. Her father, a stern and devout man, was respected in their community. Her earliest memories were of morning prayers, Quranic recitations, and strict discipline. Religion wasn't just a part of their life, it was life. 5 daily prayers were never missed. Fasting was sacred. Reciting the Quran was more important than playing. By age 9, Amira had memorized large portions of the Quran. She wore the hijab with pride and never once thought to question the faith she was raised in. Her mother often told her, obedience is the path to paradise. And she believed that, at least, she tried to. But deep within, Amira carried a restlessness she couldn't explain. At night, when the world was quiet, questions whispered into her soul. Is God only about rules? Is there more than just ritual and discipline? She buried the thoughts, ashamed. But they didn't leave her alone. A dream that changed everything. It was during the final 10 days of Ramadan, a spiritually intense time for Muslims, when it happened. Amira had been fasting, praying, and reading more than usual. One night, she fell asleep with the Quran beside her and slipped into a dream more vivid than anything she had ever known. In the dream, she stood in a glowing desert. The air shimmered with a strange warmth. Suddenly, a man in white appeared. His robe was radiant, and his eyes held more love than she had ever seen in a human face. He called her name, Amira. Frozen in fear, she couldn't move, yet she wasn't afraid in the usual way. His voice was strong yet gentle. Then he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. She gasped. She had heard those words once before from a Christian girl in school who was later expelled. The man stepped closer and said, I died for you. She fell to her knees in the dream, sobbing. He touched her shoulder, and warmth filled her like a wave of peace and purpose. She awoke screaming. Her pillow was soaked with tears, and her heart pounded with a strange, unfamiliar fire. She told no one. The hidden flame. For days, Amira tried to forget the dream, but it clung to her. She began searching secretly online. Using a VPN, she found a Christian site in Arabic and read the New Testament. It was like discovering a hidden world. She learned about Jesus, His love, His sacrifice, His forgiveness. The contrast between what she read and what she had grown up believing was startling. She cried as she read passages like love your enemies and blessed are the peacemakers. She had never known this kind of God. One night, on her knees, she whispered, Jesus, I believe in you. I believe you are the Son of God. In that moment, something changed. She felt new. She was reborn. But what felt like a beginning was, in truth, the start of great suffering. Discovery and rejection. Her secret didn't stay hidden for long. One day, her older brother checked the browser history on the family computer. She had forgotten to clear it. He didn't yell. He slapped her hard and told their father. That night, Amira was summoned to the living room. Her father's face was a storm of fury and shame. You are not my daughter, he shouted. Then came the beating. She was locked in her room for 2 weeks, no internet, no phone, only a tray of food once a day. Her mother avoided her. Her sisters wouldn't speak. It was as if she had died. She clutched a torn scrap of paper with one word, Jesus. That name was her only comfort. Brutality in the name of religion. On the 10th day, her father brought in an imam to perform ruqya, an Islamic exorcism. The man recited verses, poured cold water over her, and beat her with a stick when she didn't respond quickly enough. They believed she was possessed. "A marriage will fix her," the imam said. The next week, a proposal came from a man twice her age with 2 wives already. She refused, and the beatings worsened. That night, bruised and barely able to walk, she prayed desperately, "Jesus, if you're real, help me escape." She didn't know how that prayer would be answered. But he heard, a light in the darkness. The very next day, her cousin Isla came to visit. She was the only family member who had ever shown her kindness. When Isla saw Amira's condition, thin, bruised, and trembling, she wept. Then she whispered, "I know what you believe." Amira froze. "I saw him too," Isla said. She had kept her faith a secret for years. But seeing Amira suffer finally gave her the courage to speak. That night, Isla snuck Amira a USB device with an Arabic Bible and secret testimonies. Amira read through the night, eyes swollen, heart burning. She found Jesus' words, "Blessed are you when people persecute you." And she held on. Torture and imprisonment. The next day, her father found the device. He beat her again, worse than ever. Her brothers tied her hands and dragged her into the basement. There was no light, no bed, only a bucket in the corner. For 10 days, she was imprisoned, cold and alone. She prayed in the dark. On the 5th day, too weak to speak, she simply lay on the floor. That night, Jesus came again, in a dream. He knelt beside her, weeping, holding her in silence. She awoke in tears, but no longer afraid. The great escape. On the 10th day, Isla returned. She had bribed a housekeeper to unlock the door. Amira could barely stand, but they fled through the back gate and ran until their lungs burned. They found refuge in a secret Christian safe house. A kind Armenian couple took Amira in, fed her, and prayed over her. But danger followed. Her father reported her missing, accusing Christians of brainwashing her. The police were searching. So she moved again and again, always in hiding, always afraid. Each day was a fight for survival. But her faith only grew stronger. Peace in the waters of baptism. In one safe house, a former Muslim named Yosef visited. He shared his own story, how his father tried to poison him after he converted. He looked at her and said, "Your wounds prove your faith is real." That night, Amira asked to be baptized. It wasn't a ceremony, just a bathtub, a candle, and a whisper, "I am yours, Lord." She came out of the water reborn once again, this time with peace. But peace didn't mean safety. The final betrayal. 2 days later, someone betrayed her. Police came to the safe house. Amira hid under a floorboard as officers interrogated the couple. They denied everything. The police left with a warning, but Amira knew it was only a matter of time. She had to flee the country. Layla, her cousin, contacted an underground network. They arranged an escape, not by plane, but through the desert, on foot. With a scarf on her face and a Bible in her bag, she walked for hours under the stars. Each step was a prayer. The cost of freedom. Eventually, she crossed into a neighboring country. There, she found shelter among believers. She could finally speak the name of Jesus aloud. She could worship freely. But the wounds lingered. She applied for asylum. It took 18 months. 18 months of trauma, nightmares, and nearly losing her will to live. One night, holding a shard of mirror, she nearly ended it all, until she heard music drifting from a nearby room, Amazing Grace. She fell to the floor, sobbing. She felt Jesus again. "You are mine," he said. A new name, a new life. Amira was granted asylum. She boarded a plane for the first time, whispered, "Jesus, we made it," and left the Middle East behind. Now she lives in the West. She serves in a small Arabic-speaking church, helping others like her. Her name is no longer on her family's records. She's been erased from their history. But Jesus has given her a new name, beloved daughter. She shares her story not for attention, but for the hidden ones, the wounded ones, the silent believers. To them, she says, hold on. He is worth it. And with every scar, every memory, she walks forward, not in fear, but in hope. Because one day, she will see him again. Not in a dream, but face to face.